everybody. I got a backstory for the recipe I'm going to show you how to do today. Probably about a month or so ago, a blogger friend of mine, she does food blogs, her name is Chris. A couple of you have inquired about her blog. Anyway, we decided to do a swap, and I think it was Wednesday, she put up one of my recipes. It was my peanut butter blondies. And today I'm going to show you how to make one of her recipes, and it is her easy pizza dough. And believe me, it is easy. Okay, so I'm going to go down the list. I have it written here. You're going to need 3 to 3.5 cups of flour, a pinch of salt. She said about, I think it was like 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons or whatever. But I don't like a whole lot of salt, so I just put a pinch in there. And let's see, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 1 1/4 cups of warm water at 110 degrees because you're using yeast. If you have the instant yeast, you can omit this part. And a packet of yeast. If you don't have the yeast packets, I don't. It's 2 1/4 teaspoons. And what I did is I have my hot water here, and my yeast dissolved in about a 1.25 cups of hot water. You may need to add more depending on where you live. Up here right now it's a little dry, so I may have to add a little bit more water. So I'm going to use my KitchenAid that my husband got me for Christmas. I've used it quite a few times for other recipes that I haven't done videos on, but this is the first time I'm going to be shooting a video with Big Red over here. Okay, so it says to add the flour, and I will do that. Now in the flour I also added a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of Italian seasoning, just to give it a little more flavor. And we're just gonna blend this stuff up a little bit. Just, this is gonna be a mess, so put it on low. Okay. We just want this to just combine, you know. Okay, while that's still running, I'm going to add the water with the yeast. Like I said, I may have to add a little bit more, so I'm just going to get an additional cup of water. Make sure it's hot water. I'm going to have to add a little bit more water to this. Now what I did beforehand is I greased my bowl, my mixing bowl, and I greased the paddle that I'm using. It's the kneading hook. I greased it with extra virgin olive oil because, well, I just wanted to, basically. And it's dough, so... we're just going to let that go for about, she says about 10 minutes on low, so that's what I'm going to do. I might add a little bit more flour to this because I went a little happy with the water. So we'll be back. Hi everyone. So our dough is ready. It hasn't been quite 10 minutes, but as you see, all the flour has been incorporated in the dough and it's wrapped around the hook and it's ready. So we're just going to shut this off, and we're going to, whoa, it's a little sticky. This is where I make my big messes. So we're just going to slide that dough off the hook. And scoop it all up. Okay, I'm going to need a little flour here. Now, some people don't like to add more flour once you do all this. I find it makes it a lot more workable for me. And I'm not a baker. I've never had any luck in baking before. Until I got my KitchenAid mixer, baking was one of those things I kind of stayed away from. Unless it was something pretty easy, like cookies or something. But, so, I'm building my confidence with this KitchenAid mixer, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but, it's slowly building where I'm not afraid of making this stuff my own, you know, by myself anymore, without either the store's help or a friend's. Now this is more pliable. So I'm just going to gather up this dough. I made this once before, and I'll tell you what, it's the easiest pizza dough you will ever use. It really is. It's like velvet. Now, this is, I just kind of gather it up in a bowl. She says at this point to cut it in half, but I'm going to wait until it rises first. And I'll just, and this bowl has been greased with extra virgin olive oil. And I'm going to grab my non-stick cooking spray, and I'm just going to coat the top. I find it a lot easier to do it this way than to spray the saran wrap and then put it on there. So I got dough everywhere. But that's the fun part of making this stuff at home. Now I gotta tell you, I did, like I said before, I did make this recipe before, and I loved it. I used to work in a deli. I worked there for about 5 years. I made pizza, sandwiches, ran register, the whole nine. It was in a convenience store, and it was a very popular deli. And we made pizzas constantly. I would say, in a really good day, I don't want that too tight. On a really good day, I made about 50 pizzas alone. And so I've worked with their dough, and I gotta tell you, this is the best dough to work with. This is coming from somebody who used to make pizzas and stuff for a living, and I dealt with a lot of different doughs back in those days, and this is the best one to work with. It's the easiest one to work with, and I'm not just saying that because it's Chris's recipe. Chris, you're amazing, and if you really want a good pizza recipe or Italian recipe, go to her. She's an Italian just like me, and I can say the word where day goes. That's just the way it is. So I'll be back when this is risen, and I'll show you what I do next. Hey everyone, we're back. So the dough has risen double in its size. It's only taken an hour. And if I didn't mention this before, Chris, the one that came up with this recipe, her food blog is Food Thoughts of a Chef Wannabe. I always get that confused. .com. So, at this point, we're going to punch this down. I'll put a link in the description bar. And we're just going to take this, and I'm going to cut this in half. I'll do it while it's in the bowl, though. Let's see. It's not wanting me to cut it, but that's okay. Okay, now to form these, you're going to need a little extra flour, and I'll get that in a minute, because you want it workable. I'm not going to stick that there the way it's sticking to me. Let me wipe off my hands. It would be a good thing to leave probably about a half a cup of flour extra out, just for the purpose of working the pizza dough. Okay, so add a little bit more flour and add a little bit more. I'm just picking up the leftovers that's in the bowl. With pizza dough, it's a little different. The more flour you give it, the better. Now, a lot of people have a problem with pizza doughs because they rip. They used to rip with us all the time when we made pizza too. It's not that big of a deal. If you can patch it up with your fingers, this isn't going to work. I'm going to need a little bit more flour. Just patch it up with flour and your fingers, and you'll be good to go. This dough is very soft. Do not be discouraged if it rips. Just kind of mend it back together. And if like one side has a little bit more dough than the other side, just push it over. It's kind of like Play-Doh, you know? Okay, I'm gonna keep working on this, so when it's ready to go in the oven, I'll be back and show you what we're doing. As you can tell, I filled up the holes, and you just maneuver the pizza dough around, push it down into the holes to cover them up, use a little bit of flour, and don't worry about your holes. That's a deli trick we always did, because it always happens. This one was a little bit smaller, the pizza cooker thinger, and so what I did is I just made all these indentations with my fingertips to try to get so the air will have another place to go so it doesn't poof up. It probably still will poof up on me. That's not a problem. So I'm just going to add some sauce. This is my homemade sauce. I'll put a link to that video in the description bar for those of you who have not seen it. So I'll just, we like a lot of extra sauce on our pizza, but you can make yours however you want to. If you don't like sauce, you can just keep it as a plain white pizza. Those are good too. And the rest of the sauce over here. And see how the sauce just kind of goes down into those indentations? It's going to be really good. One day soon I'm going to show you how to do the breadsticks that we made when I worked there, because those were pretty popular. They were really yummy. Unfortunately, the deli no longer exists there anymore, but it was a fun ride while it was there. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this basic. We're just going to do cheese and pepperoni, and when they come out of the oven, I'll be back so Toby can have his taste test. Hi everyone, so this is what it looks like when the pizzas are done, and they cooked beautifully, by the way. Takes probably about 20 minutes or so, depending on your oven. I let ours go probably for about 25, simply because I had extra cheese on them. What I did with the pepperoni is what we used to do down at the store all the time, is sprinkle a little extra cheese over the top to give it a little crispiness. So, again, if you want to try this recipe, I'll give you the link directly to Chris's blog, and you can check out her blog and all her other recipes. And this is it, guys. So I hope you would try this. I hope you enjoy it. And This is Toby's turn to take over now. He's going to do a taste test for you guys. So live, laugh, and love.
Well, it seems like forever since I've done this. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm just going to take a hunk of the cheese pizza and give it a little taste test. But before we go, Chris, thank you for the shirt. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, I'll send you a University of Texas shirt and show you what a real college is all about one of these days. A little humor there. Alright, we're going to check out the pizza now.
You mean it's not SpaghettiOs this time, Toby?
SpaghettiO pizza, now you're talking. Boy, that just melted right off into my mouth. And the crust is amazing. I can tell the difference in the flavor from Heather's normal crust, which is always really good. I really like this. Chris, a job well done. Heather, outstanding as always. Everybody else, adios.